Hi, I'm Phil Kenyon, here with Visio Putting to talk to you about TempoStik Plus and how it can help you develop and improve your rhythm. Now, when we talk about rhythm in the putting stroke, what do we actually mean? Well, quite simply, it's the ratio between your backswing time and your downswing time. So we look at the PGA Tour average, we see a 660 millisecond backswing and we see a 330 millisecond downswing. So we've got a ratio there of 2.0. Backswing is twice as long as the downswing to impact, and that's what we would call rhythm. Now, within the putting stroke, I think it's really important to be consistent with your rhythm. Across all your different putt types, you need to be consistent and have the same rhythm. Now, to be able to keep that same rhythm, you need to be consistent in your timing, so they go hand in hand. Now, to start with, when you open the app, what I would do, I would keep the default rhythm as displayed in the app, and I would also keep the default downswing tempo. Now, obviously an important thing is to make sure that the tempo matches you naturally. And obviously when you start to hit a few putts at that initial, with that initial downswing tempo at that rhythm, it may feel a little bit too quick or a little bit too slow, so you could adjust that core tempo to match you personally. But I would keep that rhythm close to that 2.0 ratio. Just from experience, if the ratio gets a little bit too extreme, too high, too low, it's sometimes very difficult to really consistently control that downswing time, but more importantly, control the rate of acceleration during that time. So start with the default settings, see how they feel, and then start to adjust the core tempo to match your feels, but try and keep that rhythm fairly matched to that default setting, unless it feels particularly inappropriate in terms of your backswing feeling a little bit too quick or a little bit too slow. If the backswing felt a little bit too quick, you could knock the ratio up, so that could be more 2.2, 2.3. If the backswing felt too slow, you could bring the ratio down and you might get closer to 1.9, 1.8. But try and stick with the default settings in terms of rhythm and that ratio. Now, when you're training with TempoStik, once you've got your core tempo, once you're starting to identify that rhythm, a great way to practice is to then use a TempoStik on different distance putts. Because fundamentally, that's where I see people lose control of the rhythm and tempo. Very often, the rhythm will change across different putts. Now, rhythm will change if sometimes the timing changes or very much so if the swing length changes. So working on a rhythm, trying to be consistent with your rhythm can help the other areas. It's going to naturally make sure your timing is good. It's going to make sure that your swing length matches the length of the putt. Rhythm is an important facet of speed control. It's obviously intrinsically linked to timing and stroke length, but by identifying what your rhythm is, what it needs to be, and training that with TempoStik is really going to help you improve your speed control, and that's going to help you have less three putts and hold more putts.